At exactly 2:18 in the morning, I heard a tiny voice from the bedroom. "Mom, are we still going to have this house next month?" I froze. No child should ever have to ask a question like that. I smiled because that's what mothers do, but inside I was terrified. My bank account had less than $40. Rent was due in 3 days. The gas tank was almost empty, and somehow I still had to convince my little girl that everything would be okay. From the outside, my life looked normal. Every morning I packed lunches. I tied shoelaces. I fixed messy ponytails. I kissed my daughter goodbye before rushing to work. People at the office thought I had everything together. I smiled. I laughed. I asked everyone how their weekend was. Nobody knew that during my lunch break, I wasn't scrolling social media. I was checking my bank account over and over, hoping some miracle deposit had appeared. After work, I picked up my daughter from daycare. She would tell me stories about drawing butterflies or learning new songs. I listened with a smile while secretly calculating how many miles were left before my gas light turned on. Once she finally fell asleep each night, my second job began. I drove around delivering food until midnight. Some nights I earned enough to cover groceries. Some nights I barely made enough to pay for the gas I used. I kept telling myself, just survive one more week. The hardest part wasn't being tired. It wasn't working 2 jobs. It wasn't eating instant noodles for dinner. The hardest part was pretending everything was okay. Children notice everything. Even when they don't understand money, they understand stress. My daughter started asking why I skipped dinner. I'd tell her I had already eaten at work. The truth? I wanted to make sure there was enough food left for her lunch the next day. Every night after she fell asleep, I sat at the kitchen table with unpaid bills spread across the counter. Electricity, rent, insurance, daycare. I moved numbers around like a puzzle that never fit together. One rainy Friday, I stopped at the grocery store. I wasn't buying anything special. Bread, milk, eggs, peanut butter. Just enough to get through the weekend. The cashier smiled and said, "That'll be $41.82. I inserted my card. Declined. I tried again. Declined. I felt every person in line looking at me. My heart started racing. I quietly asked the cashier if she could remove a few items. Before she could answer, my daughter reached into her tiny backpack. She pulled out a wrinkled envelope. Inside were a few dollar bills and some coins. "I've been saving this," she whispered. "You can use mine." In that moment, the entire store disappeared. It wasn't embarrassment I felt. It was heartbreak. I knelt beside her, wrapped my arms around her, and tried my hardest not to cry. I looked into her eyes and said, "Sweetheart, your job isn't to rescue me. Your job is to dream, to laugh, to play, and to grow into the amazing person you're becoming. I'll figure out the rest." She nodded. She didn't fully understand, but she hugged me tighter than ever before. That hug reminded me why giving up was never an option. That night, I stopped pretending I could do everything by myself. I cancelled subscriptions I'd forgotten about. I sold furniture sitting unused in the garage, old electronics, clothes, anything that could help. For the first time, I called local community organisations. I applied for food assistance. I asked about childcare programmes. I accepted help from people who genuinely cared. For years, I believed asking for help meant failure. I was wrong. Sometimes courage isn't carrying every burden alone. Sometimes courage is admitting you need someone to stand beside you. Little by little, life started changing. Not overnight, not with some miracle, just one small decision at a time. Today, life isn't perfect. There are still difficult days, unexpected bills, long work hours, moments when I still worry. But now, there's food in the refrigerator. Rent gets paid on time. My daughter sleeps peacefully without wondering whether we'll lose our home. She talks about becoming a teacher someday, or maybe a veterinarian. Now her dreams are about the future, not about surviving the present. And every time I hear her laugh, I remember that little envelope full of lunch money. Not because of what was inside it, but because it reminded me exactly what I was fighting for. If you're carrying a burden nobody else can see, please remember this. Your hardest season doesn't have to become your permanent story. One decision, one phone call, one small step, that's sometimes all it takes to start changing everything. And if you're still fighting today, keep going. Someone you love is counting on you, even if they don't know it yet.